Hello, nerds! Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This is the Week in Nerdom, your source for weekly nerd news video updates every day of the week. And today, being Thursday, we're talking gaming news. And this one's going to be really quick. I've only got 3 things and no reviews, so let's just jump in and maybe we can make this like 10 minutes or so. I'm not counting on it though. First thing we have is kinda sorta, I say kinda sorta. First thing we have is actually just a giant rumor started by Bruce Campbell. Yeah, that's right, Ash from Ash vs. the Evil Dead and, Bubba Hotep and all of the things that Bruce Campbell does. So with the cancellation of Ash vs. the Evil Dead, speaking of, on Starz, it went 4 seasons. There's been a lot of speculation because there's been a lot of rumors about other projects in the works. And Bruce Campbell is not helping those rumors because he keeps teasing that there are, quote, several projects in the works. And so one of his fans just straight up asked him right out, is there a video game for Ash vs. the Evil Dead in the works? And his simple response on Twitter was, yes. So we've got a couple, let me speak properly, we've had a couple of Ash vs. Evil Dead, or Evil Dead games rather, not Ash vs. In the past that have not usually gone over so well. So hopefully there's like some sort of proper approval process and we can see something that's worthy of modern generation gaming, but as it stands right now, again, this is super rumor, so we don't know any other details, so we're just gonna kick on to the next bit of news. Next, we are talking about Mortal Kombat. I was trying to get to a release just a specific video over last weekend about all of the stuff that has come out for Mortal Kombat, but literally something new comes out every day since the community reveal. I would imagine there's going to be a lot of rumor and speculation and people conjecturing who's going to be where and what's going to happen with the game, and we actually have some pro gamers are giving us a little bit of details about how it plays, about what they have seen so far for competitive modes and all of that stuff. That's gonna very likely continue at the very least until the 30th of this month. But here is what we have pretty solidly so far. We know that the roster, at least the initial roster, is going to be 24 characters. 24 regular characters. Now, let me clarify that, because if you're watching this and you know anything about what's going on, you're saying, no, it's 25. Yes, technically it's 25 total characters. However, the boss character, Kronika. Kronika does not count as a standard character. She's going to have her own slot in the character select screen. I would imagine she'll be the top of the diamond that they have, that diamond pattern. But she's not a regular character. So I'm saying 24 regular characters. That's before the DLC, and we know there's going to be at least 6 characters in the DLC. So total, counting Kronika, we have 31 characters. We don't know exactly who they are, but that brings us to the next bit of Mortal Kombat news. We have, Maximilian Dude has kinda sorta verified by inference about 18 of the 24 regular characters. We know for sure there's going to be 6. We know for sure 6 of them because Shao Kahn is the launch DLC. He's the pre-order DLC, and then we have the 5 that were playable: Sonya, Skarlet, Geras, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Raiden, so that's 7. And then we absolutely know that Kitana and Kung Lao are going to be in it, so that's 9. Everything else beyond this is super duper speculation. You can, or Cassie Cage, there's been animations with her that have been released, so we know she's part of it, that's 10. Johnny Cage, if you watch some of the community release stuff that they've let go, you can see in the background that there's animation for Johnny Cage as well. That, it looks a little shaky to me, but it is very, very possible. That's only slightly rumor at this point because, again, we've seen very distantly, we've seen blurry bits of Johnny Cage and Kabal. That's 11. We don't know 100% that was Kabal. I actually got a screenshot myself, which you should be seeing somewhere right about here right now. And it kind of looks like a ninja, but there's no other character in Mortal Kombat lore that has speed like that from the reveal event. So, and Tyler Lansdowne did say, yes, that is who you think it is. So because of the speed, we can only infer that is Kabal. So there we go. We have 11. I don't know how much room we're going to have for new characters and how much overlap between MKX and MK11 there's going to be from the new characters that were introduced in MKX. We absolutely know that Ferrator is not going to be in 11. Very likely Devora is also not going to be in this game. We're probably not going to see a playable version of Molina. Smoke, I would imagine, is not going to be in this game, though money says, because of a lot of the interviews that Ed Boon has done, and they're talking about fan service, so money says Noob is going to be one of those guys. Now, there's also one thing I wanted to clarify too. I've read on some legit sites, like I believe this one came from comicbook.com. They're gaming. It might have been from somebody else, but it's somebody along those lines of comicbook.com. Might have even been IGN. I can't remember specifically, but they're inferring that there's going to be Reptile because of an interview with one of the developers where I think it was an interview with Derek Kurtzik, actually, who is a community developer and not necessarily a game developer. He doesn't do the game mechanics. He just the community mechanics inside the game. So he might not be the best source, though he does work for NetherRealm. And I'm birdwalking, but let's get back to where we're going. Somebody mentioned, and I'm pretty sure it was Derek Kurtzik, mentioned in an interview that Reptile's Force Ball is going to be one of the stage elements that you can unlock when you're doing those crazy competitive modes that they've had in the past. Apparently that is coming back, and just because Reptile's Force Ball exists in one of those stages does not mean we are going to see Reptile in Mortal Kombat 11. It's just not how that works. We got a lot of stuff in MKX from characters like Rain, who were not playable in the game. We also got stuff in Injustice 2 from characters who were not in the game, in those kind of elemental additions to the fight. When you're fighting in the multiverse, I'm blanking on a specific example right now, but there are elements that specifically come in that were reminiscent or directly taken from a move set from the first Injustice or from MK9, respectively, that were in both Injustice 2 and MKX. So, the existence of Reptile's Force Ball does not confirm the existence of Reptile. Also, part of the reveal event, we saw what exactly you're going to get in the Collector's Edition, which is a little high even for me, but I'm still signed up for that. So we're getting the Scorpion mask, which may or may not be wearable. It looks it's supposedly to scale, but it's on that statue, so I don't think you can take it off the statue. I was kind of hoping, but then I looked a little closer, and it looks like it's part of the statue. So it's more like a scorpion bust. And then you get the steel case, and you get a couple other little collectible things. I think the biggest cost in there is, game development is expensive, but the mask itself, the scorpion bust mask, is very likely why this is going to cost $300. But I can't justify that. I'm doing it anyway. Yeah, it's the way it goes. The next thing that we're looking out for in the combat community is the first Kombat Kast for Mortal Kombat 11, which is again January 30th, so it'll be next week. I'm not going to be able to stream it because I'm pretty sure I'll be at work when it happens, but we will be going on a breakdown video for that. Very specifically, I'm going to set aside some time so we can do that next week. But that's all we really have for Mortal Kombat. Again, we'll get into a lot more of this next week. But we're kicking on to our last bit of news, which is Far Cry New Dawn. We are about 3 weeks away from the reveal of Far Cry New Dawn, from the release, rather, reveal. I'm still in Mortal Kombat mode. We're about 3 weeks away from the release of Far Cry New Dawn, and Ubisoft has been giving us some goodies in the last couple of days. We got 2 trailers. One is gameplay, one is story. Both are linked in the description, and it looks like more of the same, which is not a bad thing, especially when you consider the fact that they are expanding on what already works. So they're taking these super solid gameplay mechanics and they're just making it a little bit more customizable in the gameplay element. You can now team up when you go out on missions effectively. You can now team up with animals. We've known this though since a little while ago, so that's not exactly a reveal. It's just really cool to see some elements of the story. We're going to get remnants of Far Cry 5. This takes place about 17 years after Far Cry 5, so I'm pretty sure, and you can't quote me on this 100%, but I'm pretty sure this is the first Far Cry that takes place in a post-apocalyptic kind of future. None are coming to mind that would fall into that category. There was the one that was the exact opposite, where it was BC, like 10,000 BC or something, which was interesting. But still, very, very awesome. Check out the story mode, gameplay, all of that stuff down low. Story it's really interesting. They're maybe kind of sort of implying that at some point in this game, you will have the option, or it will be necessary to team up with Joseph Seed. If you don't remember, Joseph Seed was the antagonist from the last game. He was the big bad, if you will. So that's really interesting. Enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? But that, guys, again, it's short and sweet this week, is the end of gaming news. What did I miss? Which I'm sure there's plenty. What should we talk about next week? Is there something you want me to review next week? Definitely, let's have that conversation down low in those comments. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, there is a website, generallynerdy.net. That is the place that you can go find all of the writing, all of the freebie stuff as far as writing goes. All of the social media links they're all at generallynerdy.net. Also at generallynerdy.net is the general store. There are actually 3 of them. You can find them all. There's a tab at the top of the page that says General Store. I just put up Garth is my I just put up the Garth is my spirit animal shirt and Do You Even Pop Culture, Bro? Those are both up in the general stores on generallynerdy.net, so go check those out. If you want to support the channel a little more directly, there is a Patreon. Since we don't have reviews, I got to do the old school Patreon plug. So patreon.com/generallynerdy. There are now 7 tiers. You can donate 7 different ways through patreon.com, and you get different stuff when you move up in those tiers. Everything from just early access and 1 monthly Discord to 2 monthly Discords and a credit in every video. Just check that out Patreon.com/generally nerdy. You can see all of the ways to do that. $1 gets you everything early and a monthly comic books conversation through Discord. So definitely go check that out. Again, patreon.com/generally nerdy. If, though, this is your first time at Generally Nerdy, then definitely click that subscribe button. Or if you like this episode, click the like button. If you didn't like the episode, you can let me know that too. It's whatever. I'm cool. If you are falling behind on your nerd news and you want to catch up, you can click or tap that box right there to the left of my face to do that. But before we click the box, before we do any of the other stuff, the website, the Patreon, any of that jazz, guys, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.